During your 25 years of practicing medicine, you suddenly became aware of something that big that has let your whole life go in a completely different direction from that point on, because you realized that the whole medical system is controlled from A to Z by big money, by bankers, and that the goal of the medical system, and doctors are not aware of this, but the whole goal, the only goal, is to make people sick and to kill them. You were a medical doctor in Canada, and you were also the owner of several medical clinics in Canada and the US. So I think our listeners can definitely assume that someone is sitting in front of me today who exactly knows what she's talking about after so many years of getting to know the medical system from the inside. When you found out the truth, you decided to talk about it and to finally find an answer to the question of how can we make people healthy? That's why you wrote a book entitled The Medical Mafia, which I've got here, and which my mother devoured in only one day. She was thrilled, by the way. And of course, all hell broke loose after 1994, when the first edition of your disclosure book appeared, and not surprisingly, you lost your license to practice medicine and your life fell apart completely. At that time, your soul showed you that the world in which we live is made up of lies and illusions. You discovered that behind the income tax system and all other systems, we find slaves without chains, human beings who are ignorant and unconscious of being the property of the state. When you became aware of this situation, you decided to escape from slavery at all costs. And you knew, therefore, you had to behave in a way that was opposite of how a slave behaves. You were even willing to go to prison to stand up for your truth and man's freedom. So Guy, thank you very much for your time. It's truly an honor for us to have such a courageous and wise human being as our guest today. Welcome.
It's my pleasure, Kristina.
Dem zuhören, was da drinnen ist.
Was unser gesamtes altes Weltbild eigentlich komplett auf den Kopf stellt. So Guy, let's start with the first question. Guy, most people in our society live a very unconscious life and do not question what they have learned or what they are told. And if they do question it, then unfortunately only to a certain degree, up to a certain limit where it does not yet become too uncomfortable and complicated, because everything that goes beyond that is sometimes too exhausting for them. And that is why most people trust their government enough to entrust it with their children, their health, their property, their entire lives. And what problem this slave behavior leads to, we can clearly see from today's global pandemic scenario. But you decided to put an end to your life as a subject of a higher authority. Where did you get the courage to stand up to the system and its demands for payment, and even to be prepared to go to prison? Were you not afraid of it at that time?
Well, it was a progressive journey. First of all, when I wrote The Medical Mafia, I always looked for the solution. I wanted to heal the medical system that was sick. That's how it all started. And so I started looking for who's got the power to change the medical system. So I went through the different steps in the hierarchy of the medical system, and nobody was paying attention to, and not even interested in changing the system that was not working well for anybody. Inside of me, it just said, well, if there's a medical body, yes, if there's a medical body, there has to be a medical soul. But I never heard of the medical soul. And I said, well, what's the soul? The soul is the essence, the raison d'être of a system. Well, the raison d'être, the essence of the system is the patient. The patient, no medical system. So, okay, I realized that the soul is the key, is the real power is within the soul and not the body. And so I said, well, if that's good for the system, it's good for us. And then I started realizing that the ultimate authority is within, it's not outside. What we call the ultimate supreme authority, it's has always been outside. Should it be God? Should it be the source? Whatever you call it. Well, it's not outside. Outside, it is inside. The real sovereignty is individual and interior. So knowing this, I said, okay, I cannot behave as a slave anymore. I have to behave accordingly to who I am. So I started canceling. I stopped canceling my health insurance, my license, driver's license. And when I learned, one day I learned that all the taxes, income taxes, were going to in the deep pockets of the world bankers. And I said, 100%. I said, I cannot cooperate with this. I cannot. And so I stopped. I stopped even filing income tax. And it was several years later that the Internal Revenue came after me for me to file income tax. And just to make a long story short, it got to a point where either I was I had the choice between going to jail or giving up. And my consciousness told me, no, don't give up. It was not a matter of winning or losing. It was just a matter of, no, I had to obey my consciousness. It was my soul and conscience. I could not keep collaborating with a system, a fraudulent system. So I chose to go to jail. So that's how it all happened. Was it easy? No, it was so strong inside me, so strong. And I had made the decision that I would not play their game. I gave full power to my soul. I knew that the real power is within the individual. It's the soul inside. And the real power, real authority, sovereignty. And I made a deal with my soul. I said, you go ahead, you run the show, and I will go with whatever happens. It will be perfect, and I'll do it. So that was a totally different way of doing it. Usually we play with the rules, the laws, the lawyers, and I had no lawyer, no nothing. I just went by myself. And there's only one thing I refused to play: the maritime law or the common law. I don't play their game. The law is their game, what they call justice. No, it's not my game. My game and my law is inside me. It's my soul, and I obey my soul. So the only thing I said, I'm a sovereign person with a body, a soul, and a spirit. You have no jurisdiction over me. That's all. I didn't say anything else but that.
Wow.
That was it. So full carte blanche, full free reign to my soul. And this is where we're going. So it's the first time I was really strongly experiencing it.
Wow. And your soul give you, as you reconnected with your soul, you let your soul at that time lead you. Was there a power, a sort of power which your soul gave you through the time where you have been in prison? Where you noticed
liberty. I felt free.
wow.
Even going, I remember being in the truck going to jail, and I felt freedom. Real freedom is inside. It has nothing to do with the outside. I had the choice. We have the choice. When we say I don't have the choice, we deny who we are. We have the choice. And I chose to obey my soul and not the external authorities. We all have that choice. And I made that choice, and I felt freedom. Wow, freedom and joy, real joy without cause. And yes, that was a great moment for me.
Yeah. Many people would have been traumatized by such an experience in prison and might not have recovered from it for the rest of their lives. Instead, you've been able to free yourself from all your fears while you were locked up, as you said. And now is my question. When you were in prison, the whole time, I mean, was there ever a point where you regret your decision, where you gave up hope for a little time and worried about ever getting out there?
Well, I was not hoping to stay too long. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
But I had no clue of what the solution would be, what the result would be. But never regretted. No. I could not regret. I mean, no way. It's something so strong. This is power. Real power is within, and it's within. We are the ultimate authority. We are this authority, and when we obey our inner authority, we can only feel great and so powerful. It's very empowering to obey our soul. Yes.
Okay. And Guy, how much has your life changed since you realized who you really are and since you left the system? Can you give us some everyday examples here? For example, you mentioned earlier that you gave up your passport and you have no ID card anymore. Can you travel? Can you leave the country at all, or?
I do not leave the country. We can all drive a car without a driver's license.
We can?
Of course.
Okay. Yes, that we can, I know, but are we allowed to do it when they come?
Well, allowed. The external authorities want to control and rule. This is their authority, my inner authority. I obey my inner authority.
Yes.
That's all. It's a total transfer of power from the outside to the inside.
Oh, yes.
This is what it is. So, yes, I stopped behaving. I stopped behaving as a sheep. So I closed my bank account. I stopped credit cards, checks, or whatever. I stopped collaborating with the multinationals. I buy local, made in Quebec or Canada, made locally, sold locally. We have the power. We have the power. So I stopped giving my power and my money. We have the power and the money. We are dealing now with the 1% ruling the 99%. The problem is who's going to change that? And is it, first of all, is it new that the few rule the many? No, it has always been.
Yes.
So we have to find a solution to what the many have always done, because the few, we know how they proceed and they say it and we can see it.
Yes.
But what do the many do that they remain slaves of the few? And it's because we give our power away and our money, our power through elections and our money through taxation. Why do we do that? Out of fear of punishment, out of fear of getting the stakes. And that's fear. It's based on fear. And what we're dealing with now is a fear-demic. You remove the fear and there's nothing left. So fear is definitely the bath we all swim in. It's the very fundamental reason, if I could say so, for the 1% as well as for the 99%. And that's how we end up in a war, because we're all afraid. The 1% is afraid to lose their control, and the 99% is afraid to lose their freedom. So we fight because there's separation. The cause for fear and war is always separation between authority and obedience. Well, let's unite them. How can we unite the authority and obedience? It's by remembering that we are the ultimate authority, the supreme authority. Yes. And when I remember that I am the supreme authority and I obey my supreme authority, fear goes away and the war is over. That's all. It's so simple. This is this is what's at stake right now. So there's one solution. We don't need more than one. Remember who we are. The very first thing is remember that we are the supreme authority, what we call sovereignty. Sovereignty means supreme authority. It's not the country, it's not the queen, it's not the king, it's not the government, it's not the constitution. We live in a world of falsehood, wall to wall, 100% false. That's
Yeah, you said it right. And so, yes, we have to remember who we are. And the most people do not remember who they are. When you ask them, they only say, I'm Kristina maybe, and I do that and that. I work in an office, or we are twisting our personality and that what we really are. That's we identify too much with our person, with our personality. And that's the thing that's the trap.
We confuse.
We confuse.
Identification with identity. Yes. Identity means it's the exact same. And identification is what we identify with, being a woman, a man, a worker, a doctor, a mother, name it, all the functions, all the roles that we play in the stage play. It's a stage play. It's all false. It's all false. It's a stage play, but we take it seriously. Take it for granted. We are not those roles. We have to remove our costume when the play is over. Get out of the play. Yes, it's a play. It's a stage play. It's all false. It may sound ridiculous what I'm saying there, but that's the truth. This is what it is. It's not the truth. It's falsehood. This is what it is. It's falsehood. Totally false. Yes.
No, it doesn't sound ridiculous, not at all, Guy. And as you mentioned, we are playing roles in our life and we take this game too seriously. How does your life since then changed in terms of relationships and friendships and family? Because there are we playing also very deep roles, you know?
Yes, family is a very important one. I got married one day, it just happened. And I had 4 children. I didn't want to get married and have children, and I ended up with 4 children. But when they became adolescents, I said, you're not children anymore. And my role as a mother comes to an end. And so I stopped playing the role. I took care of them. I looked after them. I did everything I did before. But the role, I became aware of the role of being a mother and of being a child. And I stopped playing that role. So I never played the grandmother role. I never got into it. The most difficult thing for me was to let go of the role of the mother. That was more difficult than going to jail.
Wow, really?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Interesting.
And I can see with this fear-demic we're experiencing these days, I can see that for parents, for couples,
yes,
it's very hard because we cannot pretend anymore. We cannot. It's either I get the shot, or I don't get it. The job. Either I get the job or I don't get it, and that are two top opposite directions. So couples are separating, for falling apart. Families are falling apart. Roads are changing. I mean, it's a great moment we're going through. It is difficult. I don't want to. No, I've got to admit it's very difficult for everybody, but it's a great opportunity. It's of humanity. The end of the animal mind and mental animal thinking animal that we were, and we are becoming conscious individuals, conscious of who we really are, the ultimate authority, supreme authority. Wow, this is who we are. So it's a great moment in history, and the greatest moment of all humanity. And that's what it is. It's not a sanitary or economic crisis. It is an evolutionary crisis. This is what it is. And it's great. What a great moment. Some people say, I find it hard. Well, yes, it's not easy. But when we incarnated, we knew the soul knew what we were coming to do. And we came here to participate and not only go through, but make it happen. Make it happen. This new species that we are moving into as humanity. So it's a great moment. And this is what we have to focus on, not the difficult aspect, but the greatness of what we're doing here on this planet. Now, it's great. We're changing the world. And I remember it was a certain moment in my life, and I had to write down something, document, a sort of CV. And I said, well, I want to change the world, and I will do it. And it's so not only me, we all came here for that, to change this world into reality of who we are, and paradise on earth is already there waiting for us to move into it, to believe into it and make it happen. So it's a great moment we're going through now.
Okay, so you also think that we are just experiencing the birth pangs of a golden age, and that humanity is awakening at the moment. Do you think that also a world awaits us where there is no fear more, pain, disease, aging, or death?
Yes. Fear is the key.
Okay.
Fear is the first thing, definitely. We are fearful animals, and we have to let go of fear. And fear is and it's easy. It may sound ridiculous, but to let go of fear is letting go of separation. Okay. Separation makes fear, because on one side is authority, on the other side is obedience. And both are afraid. Both are afraid, fearful, and because there's separation. So when I make unity inside me, union of authority and obedience, and I obey my inner authority, fear goes away. I'm not afraid. I will create what will happen to me. And it's fine. I incarnated for that purpose. So there's fear can go away very fast.
Okay.
What will be next? Yes, definitely. Disease, aging, death. We're immortal physically. All those will go away because they belong to the world of falsehood. Reality is who we are, the supreme authority, what we used to call God or the source or the Lord or whatever, we used to call it. It's not outside, it's everywhere, but not separated from its creature. It's within its creature. And so I am the creatrix and the creature. We are both. And then, well, separation goes away and fear, so does fear. And then we enter, when there's no more fear, we enter in a totally new consciousness, which we call the truth consciousness, when there are no laws that we know in this world. The laws of cause and consequence don't exist.
Really?
Laws,
not even this? Not even this law? Wow.
No biology exists. No, the biological laws do not exist anymore. And we are who we really are. We are perfect health. We're health, pure health. We are perfectly, we don't age. We're young. And we are who we really are, pure love. This is our real nature, is pure love. And why don't we experience this love? Because we are in fear, and fear is only the shadow. The fear is only the shadow of love. We are all of us, we're pure love, including the 1% or the 99%. This is who we are. But we are separated, not only between the 1% and the 99%, but we are separated individually inside us. We believe that the authority is outside. No, there's no such thing. Should it be spiritual authority, or should it be temporal or material authority, governments and so on? No, none of this exists. It's all false. We are the only sovereign inside us. It's inside us.
Wow. And Guy, there are some interesting points that you now mentioned. The first one, which I want to come back, is the immortality of the body. That's such an interesting subject, and that the laws that we know here, the physical laws, that they disappear when we are evolving in another consciousness, when we evolve and get with the divine source connected. Yep. So my question is, do you know maybe people who have dissolved this program of the Matrix, this aging program, or do you already have seen someone?
I have not seen somebody getting younger or whatever. Okay. But yes, some people have. When we reach the point of no more fear, we enter in this truth consciousness, and then the physical changes start happening. It's deep inside the cells. We're really deep inside the cells. When we said, you just mentioned this, we are connected to the divine. We're not connected. We are the divine. It's not a telephone connection, if I can say so. We are, and everybody is. and everything is. There's only one reality, is the divine, whatever you call it. There's only one thing, one energy, one reality that exists. It's the divine, and it's pure love. This is who we are, and not only connection.
Okay.
This is who we are, and every cell of our body is that pure love.
Wow. Wow, a very important point that you explained now. Thank you for the explanation. It was a good explanation and a good example with the connection. It's not a telephone connection, because when we think we are only connected with a divine source, we think that we always have to connect with it. And that puts us in kind of a victim role, you know. But if I change the perspective, like you said, and if I think that I am the divine, or how do you say it? That I am the divine source.
I am. This is who I am. Every cell of my body is that.
That really empowers me when I think about it.
Yes.
So, Guy, I'm not sure. There is a theory about different timelines, or let me say it like that. There's a theory that the worlds are separating right now, and that the awakened people will soon be living on a different timeline than those who have not yet awakened. So that those who are awakened and those who are still asleep live on the same world at the same time, but experience completely different worlds. What do you think about that?
Well, we can see it already.
Okay.
We have some people we have absolutely no connection with, because they are on different levels of consciousness. And some other people we connect with because we're on the same wavelength, if I can say so. And this is already happening. Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And you talked a lot about fear, because you say that that's the first thing that we have to lose. The fear, we have to transform the fear, because then what's left is only the love, because we are pure love. And in the book of the prophecies of Celestine, I'm not sure if you know that, the prophecies of Celestine.
I haven't read it. I know, I've heard about it.
And in that book and in the movie of it, we are shown that if we do not fall into fear, our enemies suddenly cannot see us physically, because we are then invisible to them because of our higher vibration. What do you think about that? Have you ever experienced something like this?
I have not experienced that, but yes, it does exist, absolutely. They're different as we move on the different levels of consciousness. We change frequencies, and then some people cannot see us or hear us or whatever. Yes, definitely. This is possible. But the goal is, I think that some people can even do it at will, but this is not the goal. It's not changing vibrations. This is coming up. When we change level of vibrations, the laws change. So we can play with this, but we're going beyond that. We're going beyond that, experiencing, reaching, not even reaching, discovering our real identity. And identity is not identification. Identity is I am this. For instance, when a cop asks you for your identity card, no, I'm not a card. You see, who am I is the question. Who am I? I am the supreme authority. I am all powerful. I am the divine. Call it what you want. But this is who we are. I can only identify with that. The rest is the roles that I play or the games that I play in everyday life. But my identity is not a card, definitely not. So we can just answer, no, I'm not a card. I'm not a card. And stop. We don't need we don't need the identity cards anymore. No, we don't need that. It's all false. It's all false. Anyway, everything is false.
Wow.
Just remember who we really are, the supreme. Supreme, there's nothing beyond. Supreme is the top authority. There's nothing beyond. And that applies to both the spiritual level, not only level, but all those, the organizations or systems, the spiritual systems, also to the material systems, like all governments, all the organizations. It applies to both. There's no external authority. There's only the inner authority. This is the only, and it's supreme. And we have the choice to connect, to keep believing and connecting to the external authorities, or connecting to the inner authority and obeying the inner authority. When I say connecting, I mean, remember who I am and getting my orders from my soul and not from the outside.
And Guy, now you say that everything is false and that your soul showed you that the world we live in is made up of lies and illusions. In what areas is the truth also being twisted? Can you tell us a few more besides the lies about medicine, about the income tax, about what we said in terms of our aging or immortality, the death that we can die?
Yes.
Yes. Besides,
they all are. All are.
All are.
Is a lie. All systems.
Everything.
We are creatresses. We create this world in our image and likeness. This is being the ultimate authority. We are creatresses or creators, and we create this world, but we have forgotten who we are. And we see ourselves as poor sinners and inferior people that need a superior to lead them, to tell them what to do and so on. So all the systems are made this way in our image and likeness. So they're all false because our identity is false. It's not identity. It is identification, and it's not identity. We have forgotten who we are. So the systems reflect what our perception of reality is. And when we want to know, is this false or true?
Yes.
Any system based on hierarchy is false. Wow. So if you look at them, they all are.
Wow. So even
the moment there's hierarchy,
yes,
it's false.
And so even the thing with the esoteric scene,
all false.
All false. So
guru disciple is every time there's hierarchy is dominant, dominated, dominant, dominated, and the dominated becomes the dominant over the next one. This is hierarchy, and so whatever, and it brings separation at all levels, and separation is always falsehood. We are united. We are one spirit. There's only one reality. The spirit, the supreme authority, the creative spirit. This is who we all are. And there's only one reality. So, and this is how we can make unity on this planet. We can unite around something that everything is, around our being, not our having. We have different countries or different religions or different races or whatever. This is the having, but our being is who we are. And we are the creative spirit, and there's only one. This is what we are as human beings. This is what the animals are, the trees, the minerals, everything is but that wow. Unique substance. But what is different, the diversity comes from the different levels of consciousness of who we are. Levels of consciousness vary, but the reality, there's only one truth, only one reality, only one vibration, only one. This is what we all are. And if we want to unite, and yes, it's possible for humanity to unite and for the whole world to unite, but around the only thing that we have in common, which is who we are. But as long as we forget who we are, we can't make it. We can only make it when we remember who we are.
So do you think that it is enough to remember us every day who we are, that we are the supreme authority, to get out of this? Yes. And do you think that we are, that it is enough to remember us every day on that fact? Or how did you get that attitude? Because I know that what you're saying is true, but I know that maybe tomorrow when I'm out and I will react like I even don't know it. You know what I mean? So what do you think? How can we get to that point where you are?
First of all, we need a decision. A life decision. Where am I going? What the first thing, who am I? And the second thing, what am I doing on this planet?
Yeah.
And what I'm doing on this planet is the self-fulfillment, which is remember who I am and become who I am. And this is a decision. I have the big picture where there's the world of lie, illusion, and there's the world of reality. Am I going to stay in the world of illusion, or am I moving into the world of reality? This is the choice. And that means that reality I already am. It means that I let go of all the illusion. And that applies to every system. You just asked me before.
Yeah.
How do we do with the family, the money? How do we do with the law? How do we do with the politics and so on and so on?
Yeah.
So it's a total change in behavior as we become more and more conscious. So the first decision is a big decision. It's a decision. I call it a life decision. Where am I going? What am I here for? Okay, and I go for it. It requires a lot of determination. I am not going to stop. It's really a life decision. Then every moment in my life, something happens that I have to make the choice again.
Yes.
Am I going to go back in the old world, or am I going into the new world? That means, am I going to obey my ego, external ego that serves me, that has served me to survive? Or am I going to obey my soul, my inner sovereign soul? We have the choice at every moment in our life. We have the choice. For instance, very often we hear these days, well, I'll get the job because I want to keep my job. Okay, what does that mean? That means I give priority to my external ego to my external ego to keep my job. I give priority to my having over my being.
Oh,
And
yes.
that is corruption. And we all are corrupted to the bone, more or less. Some are more than others, but that's what it is. And this is what humanity has done for eons. We have given priority to our having over our being, so we are corrupted, corruptible and corrupted. And this is how the 1% can dominate and exploit the 99%.
Wow.
Because
Yes.
the 99% is corrupted.
Yes.
But the 99%, they say, the 1% is corrupted. Yes, they are more than we are.
Yeah.
They're better at it than the 99% are. But we all are corrupted. And this is the very basic cause. Well, not cause, the very basic way of living. And we have to survive. We came from animality and learned to survive and so on. That was okay. But now the time has come to give priority to our being, which is our inner soul, the sovereign soul, the only real authority. It's inside, to give priority to this over the outside. So, for instance, in politics, are we going to obey the external authorities? Yes, but if I don't, well, here comes the fear. When I'm separated, when there's a separation inside between my soul telling me something and my ego fighting for my security, I am afraid. Of course, this is what creates fear. Separation creates fear. So I'm afraid. Am I going to obey the fear, or am I going to obey my inner voice telling me what to do? That's all. And my inner voice may tell me to do something that I would not. If I'm not ready for something, it won't tell me to do it. It will always tell me what I have to do at this precise moment. There's no law.
Okay.
It's the law. It's a transfer of power from the ego to the soul, but there's no established law. It's always the law of the soul. What we transfer is our will, the decisional will. We take it from the ego and transfer it to the soul. So the soul makes the decision, becomes the government of our life instead of the external authorities. And it is a revolution of consciousness that we're going through. It's a great moment.
Yes.
Revolution is mean we get someone out and we put someone else in place. And this is exactly what we're doing with the big decision I talked about. I let go of the government of the ego, the external authorities, and I install the government of my soul. My soul governs my life. So it's a revolution of consciousness. Fantastic. Yes. And we will make it. Definitely we will make it. How fast are we willing to make the decision and to do it? This is individual. And when we will be enough of us willing to really go for it at all costs, doesn't mean that we lose everything, but we're ready, we're willing to lose everything. We are ready to lose everything. Should it be the parents, the children, the job, the money, the house, the status, whatever. I'm ready to lose everything then what happens, and it's fine. So this is when we'll be enough ready for that. Oh, the switch will happen, and we don't need to be thousands. No.
Okay.
No, not that many. No.
Okay. So there is a critical mass, I think. A critical mass, a number of people?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Yes.
So Guy, you said so many interesting things now. Let me just go back on one point. You said that we put how can I say that? What was the right word which you choose? You said that we corrupt ourselves because we prioritize
that.
Yeah, sorry, that was the right word.
I may be wrong, I don't know.
No, it's the right word. It's the right word. Because we think that it's more important the thing of having than the thing of being, and we corrupt ourselves, and we see this corruption as a mirror in the world on the 1%. But we only experience this corruption because the world is a mirror of ourselves, and every fight which we have in ourselves, we will see on the outer world as our reality. So if we really want to change the world, we have to stop to corrupt ourselves and to really be honest to ourselves. But what I think is when you say that, when you told me what you've done in your life and that you always put the soul in guidance of every decision what you make, I think it's very brave. And maybe a lot of people think, oh, but that maybe hurt me. And now my question is, if you decide for yourself to always put your soul at the first, and that your soul always win the battle against the ego, does it hurt much less then, or how do you deal with the pain? Because when you say you are ready to lose everything because your soul guided you, you even feel pain, right? When you lose someone or something, or does that not exist anymore if you're in a awakened consciousness like you are?
Okay, first of all, sometimes I may tell my soul I'm not ready for that, so yes. I can postpone obeying the soul. But yes, I have given the major decision of my life, yes, given free rein to my soul. Okay. So whatever happens, my soul has created and I go with it. Okay. So that takes a lot of suffering away. Suffering is the resistance to, suffering comes from the resistance to my creation. But when I give my soul free rein, I go with it. And it doesn't last long.
So if you accept it, if you lose that resistance on your creation, because you assume that everything what happens to you, you have created it because you are.
My soul knows the journey.
Okay.
And when I incarnated, my soul knew the journey. Yes. And I said yes, not remembering that I said yes. I said yes. So I know that whatever my soul creates is perfect for my evolution of consciousness. And that's what I'm here for. So I go with it.
Wow. So I think that's the problem, like you said it before, that we don't remember what our soul decided for us before we incarnated here on Earth. And that is a point where some people think, oh my God, what happened here? I'm a victim. I never decided to go through that pain in my life. But you say, if I lose that resistance to it, if I accept the situation, the pain will not last long and I will come to my joy again in life and to my trust.
It's turned calamity into opportunity. It's an opportunity to grow in consciousness. Whatever I create, the soul creates everything. Or if not, I'm a victim of external authorities. That's all. Either external authorities, should I call it God or whatever? Whatever. External authorities if I give them the power, I'm a victim. And then I'm in fear because authority is outside. And here's obedience. My body is obedience. I'm fearful. But when I realize that I'm both, I create, I'm the creatrix, creator or creatrix, and I'm the creature. I am authority and obedience.
Okay.
There's no more fear.
And
fear goes away.
okay.
That's all. This is reality.
And Guy, do you feel sometimes time before your soul comes with something up? Do you feel already in which direction your life will come? Or is this always a surprise for you? Because I'm just asking because you know that there are so many books in self-help books or in the esoteric scene which tells you or which learn you how to create your reality on intentionally. And do you sometimes sit here and manifest your future like you want to have it, or are you completely free of things like that and just say, oh, I believe that there is a higher will of me, my soul, and she will guide me, and I don't have to manifest anything because I trust my soul, and everything what has to come up will come up at the right moment. What do you think?
Yeah, interesting. One is control, keeping the control over the future. I want something or I don't want something.
Yes.
So my intention and the mind is very strong. It's mind over matter. The power of mind over matter is real, but there's an intention. I'm expecting a return. I'm expecting something. So what I'm talking about is totally different. I'm talking about.
He said, son, let me tell you a story. When I was young, I had dreams of glory. All these mistakes seem to come like a flood, until my days, they were done. But I don't wanna feel like wishful thinking, pick myself up and move to the beat.
Wir sind im goldenen Zeitalter. Und im goldenen Zeitalter gibt's veganen Tiramisu.
Sieht man nicht.
Das war clever.
Come to lift us up, bring in this new life.
Anni, möchtest du noch in einen Coffeeshop? Nein.
With us.
The hunger all will end, and there will be. Anni, das schaut so gut aus. Und jetzt komme ich an die.